This right here is bananas. Y'all check this out.
She took back everything she said, every single word of the accusation, and the case moved forward anyway. Here is why that is entirely legal in California. In California, if a woman accuses a man of a crime and she says he hit me, and she says he bit me, he struck me, he kicked me, and then she realizes, actually, that's not what happened. Actually, I just lied because I was angry, because I was upset that he was cheating, because he was texting his ex. And now I want to come clean and I want to tell the cop, look, I know I said he pushed me, but he actually didn't. You know what the cop can do? Cop can say, the witness recanted. Prosecutor can look and say, yeah, she recanted, but that's okay. We believe what she said initially, not what she said later. Even if she said, look, I lied initially, I'm telling you the truth now, he never touched me, the prosecution can go forward. In a domestic violence case, we get these cases all the time. Woman says, I was upset, he was pissing me off, I told the cops he pushed me. I knew that that would mean they would put him in handcuffs, take him to jail. But he didn't push me. I just said that to get rid of him. Prosecutor says, that's just a recanting witness. So what do? Remember this. In California, a woman never has to testify against someone she's in a romantic relationship with if she doesn't want to. The California Code of Civil Procedure, Section 1219, says she cannot be put in jail if she decides she doesn't want to testify. Why is that? Because the state of California legislature has decided we are not going to issue warrants for people's arrest. We are not going to put them in custody to make them testify against their spouse, their loved one, the father of their child. If they don't want to testify, they can be fined. They can be said, hey, you're going to go to some classes, but they can never be put in jail. A prosecutor will never tell the woman that. They'll say, hey, you're going to be subpoenaed. You better come in. You're going to have to testify. But the truth is, a woman can stand up and say, I don't want to testify, and I'm not going to testify. And there's very little a judge can do about that.
So let me try to understand this. A woman can just make up whatever she wants, just pull something out of thin air, blame it on the guy, get him arrested, and then go into the police station the next day or whatever and say,
I was just bullshit, and you know this, man.
I was lying, I was just mad, I was angry, I just wanted him to come back home, whatever the reason, and the police can look at her like,
we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And still press charges on him? And still put him through the ringer? And still keep him in jail? Is that what you're saying? I swear to God, I really hope this is just a California thing. Because this is insane. The fact that she can just make up something and pull something out of thin air and just say that's what she did, that's already a problem. That's a problem on its own. But the fact that she can come in there the next day and say, I made it all up, it was all a lie, it was all a hoax, a scam, and they still will prosecute the man? I don't know what they got going on in California, and honestly, I don't care. I've had a problem with California ever since they took out Tupac and Biggie. Plus, the cost of living is crazy over there. They got all types of other issues going on there. But if this is true, because it is on the internet, and I don't believe everything I hear on the internet, if this is true, this is insane. What rights do a man have in California? Does he have any rights at all? Is a man considered human in California? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because why would this be a thing? Of course, I know there are women out there who really go through stuff and then come in there and change her story because she loves her husband or whatever. But that just shouldn't be it. If y'all don't believe her, y'all need to investigate or do something. Check for scars, check for bruises, ask the neighbors, get a witness. It should be something. You can't just say, oh, well, we're just not gonna believe it. It's crazy to me because y'all believe she would lie to get him out of jail, but she wouldn't lie to put him in there. And on top of that, if she never admit that she's lying, she doesn't even have to go to court to testify. She doesn't even have to get up there and prove it. So his life can be flipped upside down. He loses his job, he loses money, everything goes sideways, and she could just be off skipping down the street somewhere because nothing's gonna happen to her. And the craziest part of this whole thing to me is if she comes in there and say, I lied, I made the whole thing up, and if they investigate and find out she really was lying, why wouldn't that be a charge on his own? Isn't that filing a false report or something? Isn't there some type of crime for that? She just goes home, there's nothing that happens to her for lying and getting him arrested? There's nothing for that? This is insane. I want nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that. And again, I really hope this is just a California thing, but knowing the United States, it's not. I'm pretty sure there's some other places who got these same goofy rules, but these women keep screaming about the patriarchy. This stuff has to change. If you want men and women to be equal like y'all say y'all do, then this stuff has to change. Can a man come in there and just make up anything and she goes to jail? Is that a thing? Is that something we can do? Hell no. Absolutely not. Because apparently men and women aren't as equal as y'all say we are. This is insane. And for any man who lives in California, all I can tell you is good luck.
So I heard that men will choose a more nurturing woman over a more ambitious woman. Is this true?
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right.
Absolutely. Now, I can't speak for all men, but I'm pretty sure if you ask 99% of men out there, they're going to be like, I'll take a nurturing woman for 200, Alex. That's just what it's going to be. It's nothing wrong with a woman who's ambitious. She can go out there and do whatever she want to do. When it comes to a wife, in most situations, we're going to want nurturing. And I just want to throw this out there as well. 100% of men want a nurturing woman. Only some men want an ambitious woman. Everybody wants nurturing. Everybody doesn't want ambitious. So that's the difference.
Okay, ladies, I told you it was 3 times where I wasn't attracted to my husband at first. Man who loves the Lord. But he was getting ready to get axed over income. Now, mind you, I had just got to 6 figures. I felt accomplished, right? I was climbing the corporate ladder. He shared with me for some reason, and he was about $40,000 less. Mind you, I'm in Los Angeles. He's in the South. So I know that there's a pay difference there. But I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with a man who makes less money than me. Why? Because I had dealt with one before, and he was a constant hater. Never applauded me for my accomplishments. I didn't want to go through that again. So what I did was I took those feelings to the Lord and said, what are we going to do about this? Because I don't want to go through this again. You remember, old boy, that we had to get rid of. Holy Ghost? Like, what are we going to do? He asked me 2 questions. When you guys are talking, where is he? I was like, he's at work all throughout the night. Like, the security had to close him down. He also said, your new job, that you make 6 figures, that you really don't know what you're doing. Who helps you with that job? And I was like, actually, he does. So what the Lord was highlighting to me was his work ethic and his intelligence. The last thing the Lord told me was, all will be well. Now, this is going to be a little longer because I have to tell you what happened after this. Do y'all know, trying to make sure he ain't coming up behind me. Do y'all know that when he moved, God doubled his salary? When we got married our first year, God doubled it again so that I can go back to school for my PhD. You see, Dr. M, because God doubled his salary. And so had I disqualified him because he didn't make more money than me, I would have been laughing in God's face. And so I say all that to say, money cannot be in your top qualifier because things can change and God can change them in an instant.
All right, I got a couple points I want to make about this video. The first thing I want to say is I'm happy she did what she did because to me it sounds like she would have lost a good man. That's what it sounds like. She would have just been another woman online complaining about how there are no good men. So I'm happy she didn't make that mistake. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that it is funny to me how she said she had to go to God to figure out if this was a good man. And to me, it doesn't seem like this was that hard of a decision. The man had great work ethic. He loved God, and apparently you're a Christian, so that was very important to you. He was intelligent. You guys had great conversations, and he was into you. So to me, this seemed like a no-brainer, but for a lot of women, money can throw all of that out the window. And she was about to do it, but I'm happy she didn't. Number 3, when you hear men talking about women should date men with potential, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about the guy who has nothing going on. He has no money, no game plan to get money. He doesn't work hard. He hasn't done anything to get to his goals. That is not the man that we're talking about. Now, for whatever reason, that seems to be the guy y'all end up giving a chance. He does exactly what those guys do, and now none of y'all believe a potential. Well, stop giving guys with no potential the chance to show his potential. We're talking about guys like him, a guy who has a job, has a decent job, but he has a plan to do more. This man had a plan to do more, and that's why she got what she got from him. Because I wasn't even in that situation, and I could have told her that that man was going to be successful if she was there or not, because I was able to look at him and see more than just how much money he made. Another thing is, a lot of you women are single because once you start making money, y'all don't know how to act.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
You just don't know how to act. She said, I started making 6 figures and I just thought I was all that. So this man, who was a good dude, was making $40,000 less than her. It wasn't like this guy was making chump change. He was making at least $60,000, and she still was about to dump him because that wasn't enough. Do you know how many women out there are single today because they think like this? And another thing she did and said in this video that I'm so sick of women doing, they keep putting their mistakes onto the next dude. So you end up dating a guy who you made a little more money than, and he couldn't handle it. So now every guy in the world is gonna do that? A lot of you women do that. Y'all will come online and say, I've dated 2 guys and both those guys couldn't handle me making more money than them. Well, that was those 2 guys. Why do you think every guy is gonna respond like that? People are different. Y'all do know that, right? And those first 2 people wasn't for you. It's just that simple. All I am saying is there were women who were in the exact same situation. They were presented the same options, and they took the other option for whatever reason. Maybe he was making $20,000 less than them. Maybe he wasn't 6 feet tall. Maybe he didn't have the swag that they were looking for. Who knows? But y'all didn't take the option that was was in front of you, and now you're on TikTok complaining about how there are no good men. And this is why y'all get so mad when men like myself come online and say you should have picked better, because that is exactly what this lady did. She picked better. She almost fumbled it, but she didn't. And he ended up being the man that she wanted in the first place. And all I am saying is I bet if a lot of you women sat down and really thought about it, you probably had a guy like that approach you and present an offer to you and you didn't want it based on something goofy, and now we're here. So I appreciate this young lady making this video, and I appreciate her sharing it because I think there was a good lesson to take from it. Knowing women the way I know women, they're not going to learn from this, but I still think it is good information to put online.
I think it's a red flag if you're dating a man who hasn't openly explored being gay.
Love a man with a little gay allegation.
With a little sweetness, as long as you've like explored it or tried it even once.
Yeah.
I'm making the same face as this dude right now because what? What is happening right now? What is going on right now? Why would you want a man to do that? I'm so confused. You know what? I don't even want the answer to it. It is just some new millennial, new generational stuff, and I want nothing to do with it. Y'all can have it. You young dudes, good luck out there. That's all I can tell you. Good luck. Please like the video and leave a comment. I love listening to what you guys have to say. And don't forget to hit that hype button because it really helps me out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.